Number 9. Jaquelia Stevens. In March of 2020, a woman attacked her brother with a knife following an argument at their house in Knoxville, Pittsburgh. The police were called to the residence shortly before midnight by 25-year-old Jaquelia Stevens. She admitted to throwing a knife at her brother, whose identity was kept private. The victim was taken to Mercy Hospital, where he was stabilized. He was conscious and able to give an account of the conflict, which seemed to differ from Stevens' report. According to her, the dispute had started after she'd complained to her brother that he didn't help out around the house. He'd allegedly spat in Stevens' face and yelled at her prior to pushing her. It was at that point that she allegedly picked up the knife, made several swiping motions in the air, and then threw it at him. However, the brother told officers that the dispute involved her asking for his money to pay the rent. In his version of the escalating conflict, she pulled out 5 kitchen knives and said, "You know how I get down," before stabbing him in the side of the head twice. It was his version of events that seemed to match the evidence. He did indeed have 2 stabbing injuries in his head, and there was no indication of him having initiated the aggression, neither from Stevens' physical health nor from material disturbance at the residence. Number 8. Savannah Ramirez. In 2013, an Arizona teenager accidentally shot her brother while posing with a firearm for a Facebook photo. 19-year-old Savannah Ramirez and Manuel Ortiz, aged 22, had returned to the Phoenix apartment they shared following a night of partying on New Year's Eve. They were with 2 other people whose names weren't released, and one of them allegedly pulled out a handgun. The siblings' social media profiles had already featured pictures of them posing with guns, including one in which Ortiz was pointing a gun at his head. It's unclear if anyone in the group knew the weapon was loaded. As Ramirez was playing with it at around 6 a.m., the weapon went off and a round struck Ortiz in the head, killing him instantly. When the police arrived, they found Ramirez sitting on a curb and crying. She admitted that she'd accidentally shot her brother. She was arrested, and if tests confirmed the presence of drugs or alcohol in her system, she faced manslaughter charges. Number 7. Abigail Contreras. On December the 17th of 2019, the City Hospital Emergency Care Center in Grand Prairie, Texas, called the police after a teenager had been brought to the emergency room with a severe stab wound. 18-year-old Nathanael Contreras and Abigail, his 20-year-old sister, had been in the same car. A fight broke out between the two, and from the driver's seat, Abigail stabbed her brother. She then drove him to the emergency room where the teen passed away. The root of the argument remains unknown, but Abigail was arrested on suspicion of murder and taken to the Grand Prairie Detention Center on a $200,000 bond. Number 6. Valley. In 2018, a woman tried to poison her brother, but ended up killing 3 more people in the Virudhunagar district of Tamil Nadu, India. The killer, only identified as 33-year-old Valley, had separated from her husband and was living at her parents' home. She was working at a printing press and had reportedly started seeing her employer. The woman's brother, 27-year-old Murugan, wanted Valley to put an end to the relationship, but she refused to do so. The man, who a local media outlet claims struggled with drug addiction, had also reportedly tried to assault his sister. Valley prepared a dish of chicken gravy for her brother, which she'd laced with pesticide. She then went to a temple with her mother. Upon their return, they found Murugan unconscious. He was rushed to the hospital and later pronounced dead. However, as they were all drinking together in Surakulam, Murugan had also served the dish to a number of his friends. 3 others aged 16, 20, and 22 died as a result. At least 6 more had fallen ill but were eventually stabilized. The authorities initially believed that they consumed tainted alcohol. However, evidence led them back to Valley, and she confessed to the crime. Number 5. Abdullah Sanchez. In 2017, Abdullah Sanchez was driving on the highway in Los Banos with her teenage sister and another teenager as passengers in a 2003 Buick. Sanchez, then in her late teens, was reportedly drunk and streaming video of the drive on Instagram. She lost control of the vehicle, which went through a barbed wire fence and flipped over. Her 14-year-old sister, Jacqueline, and 15-year-old Manuela Sager weren't wearing seatbelts at the moment of impact and were ejected from the vehicle. The accident is believed to have been captured in real time, as was its aftermath. Sager had suffered trauma to her leg, but Jacqueline's injuries were fatal. Sanchez reportedly kept filming after the crash, claiming that she'd be going to jail for life. She became increasingly distraught, eventually kneeling next to her sister's bloody, motionless body and urging her to wake up. She was sentenced to 6 years and 4 months for gross vehicular manslaughter, child endangerment, and driving under the influence. She was released after serving just 26 months. However, Sanchez would once again be in trouble with the law only a month after her release. The police spotted her driving with an expired registration tag and tried pulling her over. Sanchez, who was also driving on a revoked license, refused to do so and ran both a stop sign and a red light before crashing into an embankment. A male passenger fled the scene while a .45 caliber handgun was found in the glove compartment. Sanchez faced a number of charges, including invading police and parole violations, as well as possible weapons and traffic-related charges. Number 4. Katherine Warrell. In October of 2008, 20-year-old Australian woman Katherine Warrell brutally murdered her younger sister Susan. The relationship between the two had begun to deteriorate after Katherine had stopped taking her medication. She was suffering from a condition called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, or CAH. It varies in severity, but it's known to be particularly hard on women as they might struggle with excess body hair and a masculine appearance. One of the side effects of Katherine's treatment was rapid weight gain, and she discontinued it in a bid to slim down. She'd done so on other occasions in the past, which her family claimed had resulted in extreme mood swings. By the time she'd murdered 18-year-old Susan in what some outlets described as a hormonal rage, Katherine reportedly had the testosterone levels of an adult male. In the days leading up to the incident, they'd had a physical altercation and exchanged death threats over a hair straightener. A friend had reportedly managed to talk Katherine out of killing her sister that night. There were also reports that she'd started researching knife wounds online and had learned to make the death quick by severing the carotid artery. After Susan had changed the password to the family computer, Katherine made the decision to kill her. As the younger sibling came out of the bathroom, she was stabbed over 50 times. Katherine then called her father, reportedly telling him, "Daddy, I've stabbed Susan. I've got blood all over me." She subsequently pled guilty to manslaughter, but the court accepted that her mind state was altered at the time of the killing. She was sentenced to a minimum of 4 years. A few months after she'd been imprisoned, Katherine died in prison of a pulmonary embolism, which was determined to have been a complication of her obesity. Number 3. Death of Paul and Jerry. In February of 2020, a man was beaten to death by his sisters at Mwimwutu village in Kenya. 51-year-old Paul and Jerry and his family were taking part in a goat-eating ceremony that preceded a dowry payment for his eldest sister. And Jerry had reportedly demanded a share of the dowry, causing 5 of his sisters, excluding the eldest, for whom the ceremony had been held, to attack him. The women ganged up and struck Jerry with sticks and firewood. Following the brutal beating, Jerry locked himself inside his house at his mother's compound. The following day, the sisters went to wake him, thinking he'd overslept. They discovered that Jerry had succumbed to his injuries. In the aftermath of the brutal slaying, they were all arrested. Today's topic was requested by Keenan Avdik. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Savannah Ramirez. In 2019, a New Jersey woman was arrested for killing her twin sister in a fight fueled by jealousy and alcohol. 27-year-old Amanda and Anna Ramirez had spent the night out drinking together. Only a few hours earlier, at about 3:45 a.m., Anna had uploaded a picture to her Facebook profile of them smiling in the company of friends. The twins started arguing after returning to their home in Camden. One member of their family claimed that the women had been fighting over Anna's boyfriend. There was speculation regarding a love triangle, but the man's relationship to Amanda remained unspecified. Others said that it was jealousy stemming from the fact that Anna was regarded as the pretty one. According to a police report, Anna had initiated the altercation by striking her sister in the face. Amanda went into the apartment and came out with a large kitchen knife. They started wrestling over it, but Amanda pushed her sister to the ground and fatally stabbed her in the chest. She was arrested and convicted. Amanda's family reportedly asked for leniency, and during the trial, she begged for their forgiveness. As per her sentence, she would have to spend a minimum of 5 years in prison before she'd be eligible for parole. Number 1. Shivani Kapoor. In April of 2021, Indian actress Shivani Kapoor was arrested in connection to the gruesome murder of her 32-year-old brother, Rakesh. Shivani, who had previously also worked as a model, had started seeing Niaz Ahmed Katigar, a realtor in his early 20s. Rakesh was reportedly against the relationship, which allegedly prompted the couple to plan his murder. Katigar and several other accomplices attacked Rakesh at his Hubballi home while Shivani was visiting the city to promote a movie. Rakesh was strangled to death, then dismembered and burned. His severed head was found in the Devaragudihal forest. More of his badly charred remains were discovered in various areas of the city. The investigation is ongoing, and while it's unclear who exactly had masterminded the murder, the police believe Shivani was directly involved in her brother's death. Thanks for watching. What's the worst thing you've ever done to your brother or sister? Let us know in the comments section below.